All right, hope you're out of that turkey coma from Thanksgiving and everybody had a great holiday. It's back to work for all of us, and we have a lot of interviews to get to. In fact, we're going to bypass the headlines and go straight to the interviews. They are powered by the Red Zone over on Regent Street and Conan Automotive in Stoughton. Local interviews, lots of good stuff. That's next on the Sports News here on Wisconsin's 57 Sports. You know, after Thanksgiving, one of the cool things is that you get all those leftovers. And for us in the sports world, some of the leftovers are actually recapping a season or two. And that's what we're going to do right now as we take a look at what happened during the cross-country season as we bring in Brian Finnell and Alexa Richardson to talk about that there with Middleton Cross Country. And welcome on in, guys. And if you could, give us a little recap if you could. Tell us what happened during the season.
Well, I think we had a pretty good season overall. We had a lot of accomplishments throughout the year. We had a lot of wins on both sides for the girls and for the boys, and a few freshmen stepped up this year, which really surprised us and I think surprised them, and they really helped the team out. We had one girl individually qualify for state. She did really well at the state meet and, in my opinion, ran her best race.
Yeah, absolutely, couldn't agree more. The boys finished third at the state meet. This is our fourth year in a row, so we were really excited to be back there, and that was our highest finish since 1992. So we're hoping that we keep the ball rolling here at Middleton for both programs.
Yeah, and Brian, what does that actually mean for you guys? I mean, to qualify for state again, 4 in a row, you got the shirt on and everything. I love it. So talk about that. Well, what does that mean as far as an achievement for your team?
Well, I think for the seniors and the juniors, the guys that have been in the longest, you know, to see all that hard work just pay off, a lot of time and energies went into producing such a high quality season. And so for us, it just means another stepping stone to maybe reaching a state title in the future. And I think the guys really worked hard, and I'm hoping that they can keep it going long term. Overall, though, we couldn't have been more proud of the guys. They did a great job this year.
You've both mentioned seniors so far. Do any of your seniors plan on running in college? If so, where are they going?
Well, the girls haven't committed yet. We have a couple of seniors who are looking at different Division II and III schools, kind of trying to push them towards those Division II or Division I schools. They are better than they think they are, but we got one of the boys. Yeah,
senior Gus Newcomb is going to attend Colorado next year, and he's the only senior that's really got a clear-cut path of what he's going to do. A couple other people, you know, express interest but aren't really sure yet what they're going to do.
Now, as far as some of the challenges that you had this season, what were they, and was it a challenge being a first-year head coach?
It was a challenge for both of us. You know, we had a lot of fun. There were a lot of bumps in the road, and I think one of our favorite sayings this year was, well, at least we know for next year. I think the biggest thing for us, and it may sound silly, is the paperwork. I still don't think I did any of it right. We just kind of winged it, and I think that was the biggest thing for us. So
yeah, just not knowing what needs to be, you know, next on the table for us to do, like right now, and sometimes we fell behind a little bit on what needed to get accomplished for the next meet as far as meet lineups, or just a lot of emails with the booster club, not really knowing that whole process. So a lot of new things overall, but the paperwork was definitely something that was new to both of us.
One thing about paperwork, there's always going to be more of it. Yeah. So good luck with that. Yeah, congrats on a great season, and we'll check in on you hopefully next year.
Thank you very much.
Brought to you by Conan Automotive, taking care of you by taking care of your family's car. Hey, as we're getting into November, it's good to start talking about something other than football. Get inside, get to the hardwood, and we'll talk some basketball as we bring in right now the head coach of the Madison East girls basketball team, James Adams, and we also have last year's leading scorer from that team, Justice Phillip, as we'll talk a little hardwood here with you guys. And first of all, welcome on in. And if you could, Coach, you know, especially talk about some of the goals that you have for your team in this upcoming season.
Well, we got a lot of goals this year, and most teams in the Big Eight, and especially around the state, always have goals of possibly going to state. We try to take it one day at a time, and hopefully we can reach those goals. And the goals are just to be competitive in our conference, hopefully win out our conference, and make a run for a state. We have a really solid team this year, and I think we can do it.
Yeah, you talk about being competitive in your conference, and it's always tough in the Big 8. If you could, talk about where you guys are kind of projected to finish. I think a lot of people got you slotted in for second.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal for us over the past 6 years. We've been fighting the Big 8, a lot of top teams, one of the top conferences in the state, and to be put that high in a projection where we're going to be at, it shows a lot of respect that they're giving our players and what we've been doing over the past few seasons.
Non-conference schedule gets a little tough as well. You guys are going to be traveling out of state a little bit, aren't you?
Yeah, we're going to travel down to Minnesota and play St. Paul Como Park. They're a really good squad. Last year they were ranked 7th in the state, and they made a run upstate as well. So we just want to give our girls a little bit more of a challenge. So the more challenges we see early in the season, so we can prepare for the run for state in this state.
And now, Justice, talking to you a little bit and talking about some non-conference, conference stuff. Where do you see your season heading this year? As last year you kind of led the team in scoring.
Well, this year I think that it should be better. I mean, we're a veteran team now, and we're just ready to get playing and everything. Friday coming up, we're playing Sun Prairie, and I mean, we're pretty excited. It was an honor that they had mentioned us to be second in.
Absolutely. Hopefully then you guys can take that next step forward. And if you could, it always is important to discuss team chemistry. Where does this team kind of fit together? How excited are they to all be together? Speak a little bit, if you could, on team chemistry for you guys.
Well, team chemistry is always obviously a struggle for any team that, plays sports and developing that. When you got a lot of players who are in the same grade, been playing on the varsity level for the past 3 years, we really started to gel over, especially last year. And I think that's the reason why we're probably getting the respect that we're going to get, because we were young. Now they're starting their upperclassmen, and our team chemistry definitely has developed, and we're going to be really good this year.
Excellent. Should be exciting. Coach, Justice, thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics. Hey, now that the football season has officially wrapped up, we can go ahead and focus our attention on some other sports, namely basketball. A great sport to be inside, be warm, get some hot shooting going on, and bring in the Waunakee girls basketball team, as we actually have from there Kennedy, Morgan, Cece, and the other Morgan, we'll call them as. Welcome on in, ladies. Thanks for coming in, and let's talk some basketball and about your team. What are you hoping to accomplish this season? What are the goals?
We're going to try to grow as a team together and hopefully win the Badger Conference and make a run in playoffs.
Yeah, and winning the conference, always a good goal, playoffs, all that kind of stuff. What do you think are some of the challenges that you're going to encounter along the way? Anybody?
Yeah, you.
Some of the challenges that we're going to have is we're all not very big, so we're going to have to learn to box out and play bigger than we actually are.
Yeah, fundamental is always a big part of the game, and you'll probably hear your coach say box out a lot of times. So as far as playing the game, though, and being competitive, what are some of your favorite aspects about being on the team?
I think that we all have pretty good chemistry together. Like, a lot of us have been playing together. Like, I know me, Cece, Ken, and Morgs actually all played together all of our years in high school since we were on varsity. So I think our chemistry is going to be good this year, and we can help incorporate that into all the other players in our team.
Yeah, and just talking with you girls a little bit, you seem to have a lot of fun together. So does that also mean that it kind of translates off the court? Do you guys hang out as well off the court?
Yeah, it definitely means that we actually just had a team sleepover, and we think that having a lot of team bonding actually really helps how we play on the court.
Team sleepover, no boys allowed, right?
Right.
Always a big thing. I'm a parent of a teenager. I know how that goes. So as you grow out of the team, you end up moving on to college or whatever you end up moving on to. What are some of the things you think you're going to miss about being on the team?
I'm going to miss just like the team bonding mostly and just hanging out with your best friends and getting to play the sport you love.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I would say, like, after every day at school, you're always there together. You're always just like working out and having fun at practice, and it's something I always look forward to, so. You
talk about it being the sport that you love. What drew you girls to basketball?
When I was younger, I just picked up a basketball and I loved it, and ever since, my love for the game grew, I guess.
Excellent, yeah. So as we look ahead to the season, do a little self-scouting if you could. What are some of your strengths, you think, and what are some of the weaknesses that you have?
We have a lot of good guard play. We're pretty fast. We press a lot.
Yeah, I think something that we can work on is rebounding definitely, because since we are so small, we need to definitely be faster and box out and get to the ball quicker than our opponents.
Excellent stuff. Girls, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Good luck on the season. We'll be checking on you.
Thank you.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics. Yes, believe it or not, even though it is cold outside, it is still a busy time for baseball players as they're part of traveling teams and getting ready for the baseball season that's going to be coming up in the spring. And along those lines, let's bring back in a familiar face. It's Jeff Nelson with Team Heat Baseball. And welcome on in, Coach. And, you know, I think everybody always wants to know, too, how long have you been coaching? How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this about 20 years. I started coaching back my daughter in softball. Brought her into it first, and that's how the whole thing started. Then my boys started getting into it as they got to about 9, 10. They started t-ball. I went in from softball into baseball, and it's kind of been, been there ever since. And that's kind of what my passion's been, and really enjoyed it since that point.
Okay, interesting. So it's actually softball that got it started for you.
Absolutely.
And that's why you started Team Heat Baseball?
It's not quite. I mean, Team Heat Baseball actually started, in a total different manner. My boy's 9, 10 years old. We ended up playing a tournament. We were in the finals. We were the last 2 teams in the finals for the tournament. And the team beat me. I was kind of a little bothered by it. And I come to find out they were a traveling team. So I kind of like, you know what? I went to the coach and started talking to him a little bit more. I asked him if he would be willing to play us, if I got a few kids together and, play against them, against their traveling team. Come to find out about 2 weeks later, we ended up getting everything together. We went out there, played against them on their turf, on their field, and we played against them and won. So it was a different game. At that point on, I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is fun. So that's basically how Team Heat started.
Yeah, and it's great stuff. We had my son Joey on, the last time, got to talk to him a little bit, and I know that his game has progressed a lot. So as far as developing baseball players, what do you think is important in developing their games?
Baseball's fundamentals. I mean, there's so many things to learn. I mean, pitching, hitting, throwing, your footwork, your hands, your feet. The mental part of the game is there's a ton of things to learn in this game. It is not an easy game to learn. A lot of the kids gotta remember too, it's a game. And these kids gotta understand, this is a game that's supposed to be fun. Enjoy it. If you're not having fun, why do it?
Absolutely.
Fundamentals are huge in this game.
Yeah, and there's so much to it in baseball. It's a game that I've been around for a long time. I learned something every single time, which is the great part of the game. As far as an age-wise, if someone's out there that says, hey, I got a kid, I think he's going to be good at playing baseball, what age would you recommend that they start playing competitively?
I think, you get a kid that, it shows interest in playing ball, at any level, where they feel like you see them in town and they're excelling and they're not being challenged. I think a kid at 8, 9, 10, any age like that, the earlier the better. There's so much to learn in this game that, there's no age group that you can actually start this kid. If you get the kids younger, the better. There's so much to learn. There's a lot of things we can teach the kids.
Absolutely. Now, Coach, I know that you got some openings. I'm guessing too. Is that right? And teams are forming.
Yep, we got some. We have an 8, 9, 10 youth group that we're putting together. We got 11 youth group that we're putting together. There's a couple kids yet, and 13. We have a couple kids we're looking for yet. So yeah, definitely.
Excellent stuff. Get involved, Coach. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Thank you.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics. One of the great things about the athletic department at Wanakee High School is they got such a variety of things that you can do. And for the girls up there, they can even play lacrosse as we bring in the head coach of the Wanakee High School girls lacrosse team. That's Ashley Lochner. And Ashley, thanks for joining us. And if you could, tell us a little bit how you got involved with lacrosse, not only with Wanakee, but with Mela as well.
I originally started coaching lacrosse back in 2009. I'd been working in Wanakee during that time and just kind of stumbled into it. So I helped participate for the first 2 years before it was involved in Mela. Stepped away to go to nursing school, and when that was all said and done, I'd happened to sit down on the couch one day with my husband and say, I really wish that I could get back into coaching again. And the next week I had an email that said, would you come back? We need a coach. So long story short, since 2015 season, I've been back coaching and been a part of the Mela conference ever since.
Excellent. And you're part of a sport that's really seeing some explosive growth. It's something that on the East Coast that's really taken off, and we're starting to see that in the Midwest as well. So what do you expect as far as growth in Wisconsin going forward?
Well, in Wisconsin, we are kind of lagging behind some of our sister states like Minnesota, Illinois, and Michigan. For example, last year alone, Minnesota had 83 girls teams sanctioned in the state. Here in Wisconsin, we're not sanctioned yet, but it is a long-term goal. We had 25 teams in the state last year for girls alone, and this year for MELA, we're expecting about 2 to 3 more teams to come in at the youth and middle school level, and we have one more team coming in at the high school varsity level, with DeForest advancing into a JV and varsity program.
Oh wow! So I mean that's still pretty good growth, and it seems like it's getting more and more organized. So are there expectations, I guess, for players, or can they expect to play beyond high school?
Oh, for sure. That's actually one of my biggest pushing points about being a varsity coach, is helping those girls get to the places that they want to go. In prepping for this interview, I did do a little bit of research looking at NCAA websites and then our Lax Power, which keeps track of all my players' stats as they move forward. And right now, best estimates are 1 in every 27 girls that play at the high school level does have the chance to play at the D1 level.
Wow.
So with 15 players on a team, likely 20 to 25 on a bench, there is substantial opportunity for these girls to keep moving forward and playing at that next level.
Yeah, and for a dad who's got a kid in sports, I mean, those are good numbers actually, and so that could be a lot of opportunity for young girls, so that's actually great to hear. So for students that are interested in finding out more about getting started in lacrosse, how would they do that, Ashley?
So they can go to madlax.org. That is the MELA Association website, which is our conference here in the Madison area. They can also check in with their athletic director of their school. And right now, the really cool thing about lacrosse, if they don't have it in your school, say for example, you play and live in Sauk Prairie, you could co-op with a neighboring team like Wanakee and actually play at that level until your school is able to support a team.
Good stuff. Ashley Lochner, thanks for joining us here on the Sports News. A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics. Hey, it's always good to bring in the Mad Rollin' Dolls as they are gearing up for season number 13. And the other good thing is at least they're way over there and not here, and I can't smell them after practice.
We skate hard. We do.
Exactly. We bring in Splatter Alice and Gouda Riddance, and ladies, welcome on in. Hey, let's talk about season number 13 and the season opener, if you could. Talk about that. When's the season opener and what you're looking forward to in season number 13?
Our first game is December 10th, correct?
It is, yeah.
I'm particularly excited about the season 13 opener because my team, the Unholy Rollers, is going to be playing the Quad Squad. We came in 4th last year, and the Quad Squad came in 1st. And
so we're defending our championship last year.
We got a little bit of a David and Goliath thing going on, so we want to see how we can do against the best this year and kind of give us an idea of where we need to go and how we can improve to take the title from them.
And I'm really excited to see Alice back on the track skating this season.
Nice, yeah. You know, I think for a lot of people, they think that the skating is kind of a hobby for you guys. Is it a hobby or is there much more that's involved with it?
You know, there's much more. It's like a part-time job. Not only are we skaters, but we're also running a business. And so you can spend 8 to 10 hours on the track working on your training, but we also have league jobs and team jobs to make sure that the league runs efficiently. So I work as our treasurer, our league treasurer. Alice is our general manager, and that can take up to 5 to 10 or more hours a week, and that just really keeps us not only rolling but also running as a business and
a lot of community outreach as well.
Yeah, that's a high level of engagement.
Yep.
So I guess you're the ones to ask about then as far as tickets go this year. You know, I heard there's some new discounts, stuff like that. Talk, if you could, a little bit about ticket pricing, how that works.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited to be offering military discounts. We also have some family group pricing. Children under 6 are free. It's really an all ages, open to everyone experience, and we're really trying to diversify our audience this year. So there's lots of opportunities for you to come. We have students discounts, and we're really excited to see more people enjoying our sport and being able to share it with this more diverse audience.
Yeah, and I think everybody that I talk to that has gone out, seen it, loves it, you know, and gets involved really quickly.
Everybody has a good time.
Yeah, what are some of the reasons for that? Why do you think that is? Why do you think they're so involved in the sport and then keep coming back?
Well, first, it's a very unique sport. You don't see a lot of full contact sports for women. And beyond that, there is an evolution to roller derby. So we're on our 13th season. We were one of the first leagues to form in the country, and we've seen derby evolve so much every single year. We are all involved on a league level in the national rulemaking, so whenever we find something that needs to be changed, we get to participate in that. We get to vote in that, and then we get to take those rules changes and apply them. And so as Derby evolves and the rules evolve, our athleticism evolves with it. So those who attend the first game through the end of the season see all of that evolution with us, and see the teams change and see upsets and see really amazing skills on skates that you don't see just anywhere else.
Yeah,
right?
it's really good stuff. You guys are nonprofit now. You can check out all of that on the information we got down now, or right down below me. Ladies, we're out of time.
Yep.
We thank you for coming in. Good luck this season.
Thanks for having us.
You know, so much that's going on that you see on TV and people reporting on sports and stuff like that. Turns out to be like negative stories and bad stories. I love when we can put forward some good news and bring in something good for you and share that all with you as well. As we bring in right now from Madison Memorial High School, we got Chris Knight, who's on the basketball team. And Chris, thanks for joining us, and just got to say congratulations, man. You're going to Dartmouth. That's where you're able to commit to. And Chris, tell me, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are asking you, why Dartmouth? What helped you commit to that school?
So thank you for having me here. And the reason why I want to go to Dartmouth is growing up, I took like academics very seriously, and I always wanted to go to an Ivy League school. So I knew once away when I got a few Ivy League offers that they would be my main focus. But Dartmouth attracted me due to the coaches, because the coaches really wanted me the most. And when I visited the school, I felt like it was like one of the right places for me to be. I was super happy there.
Yeah, very impressive. You know, great job on that. And you know, you still got, you know, this season coming up that you got to play through. What can we expect from the Spartan basketball team this year?
You could expect a big team, because we're gonna have a lot of height, with me at 6'7", and other players at 6'6" and 6'5". And you could expect a lot of team chemistry because we're returning all 5 starters from last year. So it should be really good basketball.
You know, the Big 8 is always very tough, a lot of talent in there. Who are some of the tougher teams and tougher players you're going to be seeing in conference play?
I would say the toughest team we would play would be Middleton, which is our first game. And that's because they have 2 D1 athletes with Tyree Edey and Storm Murphy, and they're always a hard matchup. And then the next team I would have to say would be West, because they have a physical type of play that we may not always be used to playing in the Big 8.
Yeah, we saw that last year when we had them on TV, and they definitely get after it. Now, you also have a tournament this year coming up in Florida again. What kind of experience is that for you and then also your team to be able to travel and play something like that?
So Florida is an amazing experience. Like, it's one of the places where you just get to spend some bonding time that you may not always have with your team. You get to go see things that you've never seen before. It helps with the chemistry. You get to learn things about your team that you never knew. And also, you get to play teams from different states that may be at the top of their state, and you get introduced to different types of play and different players.
Of course, it always helps too to get out of Wisconsin in the wintertime for a little bit too, so that never hurts. So we got about 20 seconds left. Chris, if you could, your picks, man. Who do you think is going to win the NCAA tournament, and who's going to win the NBA championship?
I think Syracuse Orange will win the NCAA tournament, and I will have to stick with the Cavs for winning the NBA.
A lot of Badger fans are disappointed with that pick right now, Chris, but congratulations again on going to Dartmouth, and good luck on the upcoming season. Thanks for joining us. A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics. Big thank you to all of our guests who came in and talked to me today. Also would like to thank our sponsors and thank you for watching. And a special thank you as well, as always, to the Red Zone over on Regent Street and Conan Automotive in Stoughton. We'll see you next time on the Sports News here on Wisconsin's 57 Sports.